Hey guys, what's going on? PrideOfLDN here. You guys know what to do. As always, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let's get into today's video. So here we have a story about Chelsea to move for Matthias Ginter, I think is how you pronounce it. He's a German player, and he is currently at Mönchengladbach, I believe. Yeah, here it is. He played a key role in the heart of the Mönchengladbach defence last season, making 31 appearances for them. And it says, now Kicker reports Frank Lampard has set his sights on another Germany international, meaning, you know, Kai Havertz, Timo Werner, and then this guy. And the Chelsea manager is keen to bring him to Stamford Bridge. However, even though his contract has just under a year left to run, the report claims that the Bundesliga outfit will still demand a hefty fee for the 26-year-old, and that's all this article goes on to say. So if we take a look at him, he's valued at about 25 million, but as it says, there's only a year left on that contract, so there's definitely room to manoeuvre for Chelsea to make a deal happen here. He is about 6'2", 6'2.5", I think. That is what 1.91 meters is in feet. 26 years old, so you know, in the prime of his career, could be a good signing for us. This season he's made 31 appearances, 1 goal, 2 assists as a centre-back, of course, as you can see, a playing position there. But in the Bundesliga, 31 appearances, 1 goal, 1 assist, it says on this site. 85.1% pass success rate, which is good. 3.1 aerials, 1 per game, which is good. He's throwing up good stats at the moment. And 6.84 average rating, which is, you know, 6 being average. That is a pretty damn solid rating across the season. You know, Mönchengladbach aren't like the top side in the Bundesliga, so it's not like he's in an easy team at all, and there's good competition out in that league, really. So overall, that's a solid rating to hold across the season. His strengths are his aerial duels, which is something we need, obviously. He's strong in the pass, and he's a little bit weak at tackling, so very weird for a centre-back, of course. His style of plays, he plays the ball off the ground often, and he does not dive into tackles, so he's more about sort of taking the defender away from goal and, you know, sort of not lunging in and winning the ball back, more so just keeping them away from the goal, shimmying him, jockeying him, making sure that he can't get the pass off or the shot off or whatever. So obviously this guy is looking like a pretty decent player. Only 2 yellow cards in those 31 appearances as well. He plays obviously either side on the centre-back role. He is right-footed, so presumably we play him on the right if we don't get a left-footed centre-back. Can play a little bit of right back as well, and a little bit in defensive mid, but mainly you're going to see him as a centre back. So could be a good signing for us, you know. I think I'd be okay with seeing this one happen. He's heading into his, you know, his prime years of his career. He's 6'2", decently tall. Him combined with someone like Zuma, I could see them working pretty well together. Then we have a little bit of Kai Havertz news. Chelsea closing on Kai Havertz signing as they agree a fee structure to spread the costs. And we're going to skip all the waffle in this one. It says an exclusive report from Team Talk has suggested that a deal could be close, as Chelsea have agreed a fee structure with Leverkusen that spreads the payments out over 5 years. And now you're thinking like, whoa, we become an Arsenal like they did with Pepe, like a 5-year payment plan? No, not quite. They do point out that Chelsea will still need to pay a significant portion up front, but it sounds like both sides are happy with this, as the report states that they're just working on the finer details of the deal now, and it's gonna, you know, be going through then, and it'll be official, but it says here it's possible that we might have to wait until their Europa League campaign is over. So yeah, realistically, it's going to happen, it says here, but the report talks about all sides being happy with this and accepting that a deal will probably happen, so it's starting to look inevitable. So realistically, the deal's going to happen. It looks like we're going to be paying a chunk up front, so maybe we're going to see like 70 million or so up front, and then to meet, you know, their roughly around 90 million euro valuation, it looks like we're maybe going to be chucking on like the extra bit just to be paid across 5 years. So makes sense from Chelsea. Good choice on our end, and a good choice from them, because they'll just get a little increase in funds every year from the deal. So it makes sense. It looks like this deal's really going to happen. It feels like I'm just giving small updates every day, and eventually then we're going to get that big announcement and it's going to happen. So the Arsenal-Chelsea FA Cup final did end in favour of Arsenal 2-1. I would say overall a disappointing performance from Chelsea, but there were definitely aspects of that game that were insane to me. One, namely being just our injuries. It was very unfortunate to get Azpi off. And the pen that he gave away on Aubameyang, I didn't like it. I was like, that's a little bit soft, and he definitely made contact outside the box first, but I believe the new rules have been that it doesn't matter where it started, it's whether it ends, so it's in the box. So I guess it's a pen by the rules of the book, so I'll hold my hands up on that one, sure, give him a pen on that. Of course, Pulisic getting injured not long after then absolutely ruined us, because Pulisic is our best player possibly. So very, very gutting for that. And then generally, like the first half we were okay. I wouldn't say we were great. That first 5 minutes we were very, very, very good, but after that sort of lost a bit of control in the game. And then of course Pepe with Aubameyang's goal, that was a decently worked goal from Arsenal. You got to say that was really good. Showed Pepe Aubameyang onto his weaker foot, and he still manages to ding it over Caballero. You kind of hope that he'd make himself a bit bigger there, but I don't know, but pretty poor, I guess, in goal. Not that I think Kepa would have saved any of those realistically. The Kovacic sending off, never a sending off in my life. Like the amount of yellow cards we got and fouls that were given against us was ridiculous. Kovacic's second one, he literally doesn't touch him, I don't think, at all. Most people are agreeing that is never a foul in a million years. So Kovacic should not have been sent off. And then there was a situation where is it Martinez, their keeper, came out to the edge of the box on the wrong side of it, as in not in his box, and grabs a ball. And they said that VAR checked it, but they never showed the angle of it. And from the screenshots that I've seen, it very much looks like he's out of the box there. So if he is, that is definitely a red card, and sending off. Keeper's gone, and of course Leno was injured, so it would have been their other lesser keeper, academy guy, I guess, third choice keeper that would have come on, and that really would have changed the game. Plus we should not have had Kovacic sent off. So I'm really, really disappointed in the refereeing today. It's the same referee that a few years ago sent Victor Moses off for a challenge that was not a foul against Arsenal, and I think it was in an FA Cup final. So referee was absolutely abysmal today. We got a man sent off wrongly, and they possibly should have had their keeper sent off. I haven't seen the direct down the line view of it, so I cannot say for certain, but it very much looked outside the box to me. So they should have had a red card, and we shouldn't have, in this game. So it baffles me a little bit. I really do think that, I tweeted out at halftime, I really do think that Frank should have changed the formation to a back four and brought on Callum, even though Callum really wasn't that great when he came on anyway, and switched to a back four system. It just wasn't really working, the fight at the back. They were just going behind us every time. It didn't really matter that we had extra bodies there, because they're so fast, and they were just beating our defenders to it. So I think bring Kante on in front of the back four, and I think that would have given us a lot more control and allowed us to go forward better, but it didn't happen. So I think I'd give Frank a little bit of, not to blame on today, but he could have done better in that regard. And then we never really looked like scoring. After that, of course, there was a situation where Pedro literally got fouled on the edge of the box. It might have been Pepe that challenged him, but he gets fouled. He just wraps his arm around him, pulls him back, and then falls him down on the edge of the box. And we've seen Mason Mount score from that scenario. We've got players that can score a free kick on the edge of the box. Pedro was available. Ross Barkley's on. He can hit a free kick. I'm really disappointed that the referee didn't give that one either, because it was in a perfect position for someone like Pedro to just bend that over the wall and into the corner. And in that scenario, their keeper should have been red carded, so they would have had a third choice keeper saving it as well. This game, had the correct decisions been made, I think I don't get me wrong, I don't think we were deserved winners by any means, but I think a draw might have been fair in that scenario, and then gone to extra time. But in the end, Arsenal won, so congratulations to Arsenal. You've got your cup. Enjoy it. We can go and take a look here at the player ratings and such. So obviously ended 2-1. Chelsea got a 6.35 average rating for that game. Arsenal got a 6.62. So neither team was outstanding today. A bit of individual brilliance from Aubameyang to get 2 goals. That was good on him. Pepe looked pretty lethal down on this side. I got to give him that. The defence, was pretty meh. Nothing really outstanding there. Ceballos actually had a pretty good game. I thought he looked pretty strong. Xhaka, Maitland-Niles wasn't really doing much. Bellerin had a couple little runs that were decent, but that's about it. On our side, Caballero 5.9, I think that's fair. Aspi giving away the pen, that was poor on him. Whether I think it was a little bit not soft, because he did have his arm around him, I guess, but it was a well-won pen from Aubameyang. I'll go with that. I'm not saying he dived. I'm saying he just did well to get on the right side and force Aspi to sort of have a hand on him, and then he sort of just drags himself down. Zuma was okay, didn't really do much wrong. I think he did right sending Aubameyang on his weak foot, and you sort of need the keeper to come out with something there. But Aubameyang did have a really good chip over him. But Caballero was looking a little small. I think you want to be big in that scenario. Rudiger, nothing majorly wrong. Just maybe not our best day. Alonso didn't offer enough going forward at all for me to justify, the back five and being in the team. So yeah, definitely Alonso wasn't too great. Reece James, again, not enough going forward for me. If you're playing a wing-back role and, the point of view is to get forward and get crosses in, we didn't do that enough. We did not get enough crosses in today. Jorginho sort of looked like a bit of a passenger in the game. There wasn't anything outstanding. Defensively was okay. Definitely could have made a couple tackles and got a bit outpaced at times. But never really did anything. He was just there to sort of pass to Kovacic and let Kovacic go. Whereas I think Kante offers a lot more defensively and can go forward and, work past a man and such. So Jorginho, I wouldn't have started him in this game for me personally. Kovacic gets a very harsh rating on 4.8 because the first yellow was fair, but the second one absolutely not and shouldn't have been sent off. And in general had, a few nice little runs up the pitch and was getting us out of pressure quite a few times. So very harsh rating on Kovacic there. Mason Mount, bit of a passenger in this game again, 6.3 rating, didn't do enough. He did good with the goal. I'm pretty sure he was involved with, on the left side, in the first 20 minutes or so, he had a few good runs through, and then I think he slots it back to Giroud, to Pulisic, and in. That was a lovely little goal from Pulisic as well. 7.6 rating, very, he deserves that. Absolutely gutted to see him get injured because as soon as he went off, it was oh my god, today's just not our day, is it? Everything's going against us, the referee's against us, and, Aspi giving away pens as if that, ever happens. Kovacic getting a second yellow card and a red that shouldn't have happened. Their guy not getting a red card, which should have happened. And then Pulisic getting injured was just another piece to the puzzle, it felt like today. And Giroud with a 7.3 rating did okay. I think 7.3 looks a little flattering. He did good for the assist, I'll give him that. But other than that, wasn't really there. David Luiz tended to have him pretty well, I don't know what the word is, contained, I guess. And definitely had him under control, so it wasn't like Giroud really had much of a chance. Don't even remember Giroud getting a header in this game, as in an attacking header in the box, which you would have thought he would with Reece James and Alonso going forward, but didn't happen. Barkley came on. Definitely should have played it through to Reece James at one point in the end, because Reece James was on the edge of the box just screaming give it to me, I'm free, and I don't know, Barkley was just trying to wiggle his way through and ended up losing the ball. It was really poor from him. Callum Hudson-Odoi with a 6 rating didn't really do much. He had a really big impact when he came on against Liverpool, and I'm disappointed that he didn't today, because that was a game that we needed it and he just wasn't really up for it. Tammy Abraham again didn't really make an impact coming on. Pedro, gutted to see him get injured like he did. That looked like a bad injury. It looked like he was on pain relief while he was on there. So I'm really gutted for him. Obviously that is going to be his last game for us, so thank you, Pedro, for everything you did. He tried today, but just wasn't there. A couple times he shot and probably should have just passed the ball off or something. A few moments of just But all in all, he gave it his all and ended up getting injured, which is exactly what we didn't want to happen for him before moving to Roma. And then Christensen obviously came on at one point and got a 7.2 rating. He was pretty solid, made a good tackle after I think Bellerin went flying through, which they ended up scoring from in the end, but he made a good tackle in that scenario anyway. And then the overall stats, they had 11 shots to our 9. We had 60% of possession. We definitely controlled the game a lot more in the second half. Pass success rate 85%, dribble 16 to their 9. Aerials 117 for us. That's huge compared to their 8. 14 tackles to 11. They had 6 corners to our 4. And then they were dispossessed 9 times to our 7. Or I don't know if that's we dispossessed them. I don't know. But either way, overall, that game was disappointing. I would have loved Frank Lampard to get a trophy in his first season, but we do have to look at the season as a whole. We still did finish top 4 in the Champions League spots, which nobody really gave us a chance at. So we've got to be very positive on that. Yes, we lost to Arsenal. We had the chance to win the cup, but Arsenal have been in some good form recently, to be fair to them. Would I say deserved winners? I'd say, based on how the game played out, yes, but had the correct decisions been made, I don't think they win that game in 90 minutes. I think it probably goes to extra time, and then obviously from there, who knows what happens. And we would have had an extra sub, I suppose, both sides then as well. So could have made the difference if the refs made the right calls today. I want to see that handball outside the box from their keeper, post-match, because they didn't show it during the match. I really want to see that, because that definitely looked out of the box to me. There's a few screenshots going around and it definitely looks out for me. And I'd like to hear from the referee why he gave Kovacic a second yellow, and VAR why they didn't overturn it. But hey, we're not going to get these answers. Been an awful season for referees in terms of decision making. It needs to improve next season, because it's things like this that can cost points in games and trophies like it has today. So disappointing from the refs. But yeah, overall, congratulations, Arsenal. I'm just looking forward to next season now, because we've got, today we could definitely see the lack of attacking threat, and with Ziyech coming in, he's already here. Timo Werner, obviously at the club already, with Kai Havertz potentially joining us, we're looking really good going forward. Get a keeper in, a left back, maybe a centre back, and we're looking solid. So I'm excited for next season. Of course, we still do have the Champions League games to play, but I'm not that fussed on them at the moment. I don't think we're going to do it, but I will be watching and cheering the boys on. But yeah, that's going to be the end of this video, guys. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let me know what you thought of the game down in the comment section down below, and I'll see you in the next one, guys. See ya.